Okay, Mom. What's up, y'all?
What's up?
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Welcome.
Welcome.
If you can see our plate of goodies, because we always have one, they're mini muffins, okay?
Took
And
the
guess
top
what?
off.
We only eat the top because that's the best part. Yo, I watched a TV show once, and this girl started a business only selling muffin tops. But then I was
Muffin,
like,
the muffin tops.
the thing that I can never get rid of in the gym, no matter what I do. But then it's like, what did she do with the bottoms?
She just got a tray that only made the tops, girl. Obviously, she didn't take the muffin and then throw the bottom out.
I don't know. This is why I can't do a baking business.
It's a slow Wednesday today. We're starting off slow. You know
Guys,
what? I'm not one to talk those.
It's one of those there isn't enough coffee in the world.
Yes.
It's one of those mornings.
Before we started, Uruje was like, wait. I need a few minutes to just enjoy this moment. And honestly, I felt her so hard because I was like, "Main tumhare saath hi hu." Like I was dying too.
It was one of those I didn't even sit in the chair.
Yeah.
I just was on the ground. Like
She was kneeling on the ground in prostration in front of her coffee cup.
Shukar hai mere samne aa gaya ye. Oh, how I missed that. Yo, sometimes the night before, I'm so excited to wake up to make my coffee in the morning.
Me too.
Itni khushi hoti hai.
I am so excited that with my breakfast, I get to sit and have chai in peace and quiet.
In peace and quiet.
The peace and quiet part for us.
Facts, it is.
Forget everything else, just the peace and quiet.
Yeah. Especially everybody who's listening to us on Wednesdays, when you got your AirPods in and this episode is playing and you're making your chai or you're making your coffee and you washed all the nashte wale bartan. You know those nashte wale bartan?
Yes.
I wash them, then I move over to the coffee counter. I have headphones in. I'm listening to a great episode and I'm making my coffee. It's the best.
Best moment. It's the little things, guys, that make a big difference.
Facts. Welcome. We hope you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you are not, let's get there. We really, really want to get to mission 25K.
25K.
We're slowly making our way there. Thank you for those who have subscribed. If you have not, please tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell an auntie, to tell a cousin, to tell someone.
Tell everybody.
Everybody.
Spread the word.
We've got some fun stuff planned for you. So just help us reach to 25K. And we've got content galore, some prizes, some events coming up. We're looking out for y'all.
We are totally looking out for y'all. I feel like we're doing a great job. Looking out for y'all. So look out for us too.
Facts.
Please.
इतनी सी है यार, red button दबा दो ना.
Come on now.
कुछ और तो नहीं मांग रहे हम.
Yes. We're not asking you for anything.
Please give us those 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcast. We really appreciate it. And follow us on socials, TikTok and Instagram and apparently Facebook. Where the aunties and uncles don't like us on Facebook. Facebook is not happening right now. They don't like me. They don't like you.
Yo, I swear I feel like I should be really triggered, but I am so not.
I don't care.
It is what it is.
It's the older gen and they don't like the fact that we have to talk about some of the struggles we went through as
because they're not struggles, girl.
उनके लिए तो नहीं है. But also this is what happens because growing up our struggles were not struggling enough.
Yeah.
And
we
then
didn't struggle enough.
We didn't. So, and we were always na shukre, and this is the same comments we get on Facebook.
की तो हद थी हमारे अंदर.
Like, I'm not saying I don't love my mom's food. I would die for my mom's food. But sometimes if it's smelly in my lunch bag, I don't want it.
Yes.
Is there something? What's so wrong with that?
Nothing is wrong with that. You know, when you haven't gone through the experience, it's very easy to say these things. But if you went through the experience, then it would be different.
Facts.
I think that was what it was.
Yeah.
But they just haven't gone through the experience.
They have not. Okay, the question of the week was, woman to woman, what's your biggest mistake in a relationship?
That was a really good question.
And don't worry, men, we're not going to leave you out because maybe next week we'll ask
men.
Man to woman, what's your biggest mistake in a relationship?
Yeah.
Okay, so get your answers ready.
Then there's so many people that responded. A lot of these things were, some things were similar. Some things were really people put themselves out there. So we appreciate that.
Thank you so much for the responses. Yeah. Obviously you guys know that we can't get through all of them and we have a tendency to rant. So we're going to try and get through as many as possible. Okay.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Okay.
What do you got for me?
I'm starting with the first one. Okay.
Go.
The first one was, what is the biggest mistake in a relationship? And one of the answers was too much masculine energy. And he got too comfortable knowing that everything was handled.
Oh.
And you know, this is not the only person that said that.
Yep. I read this too.
You know how like they say like banda ban?
Yeah.
The woman's like, "Main banda ban jati hu." I'll be the banda.
You know why? It's because we know that when there's something missing, we will immediately step in.
Yes.
Because we're fixers.
We're problem solvers.
Seriously.
Like I'm like, give me a problem. Give me a problem. I will, no matter, it's do or die. Okay?
Hey, let's Bob the Builder.
I'm telling you.
Fix these problems right
I'm
now.
telling you, if somebody gives me a problem, I need to fix the problem. Like I see the problem. For me, it's like, I'm not going to give up until the problem is fixed. Like I'm a deed. And you're a deed too. So
I am.
So I admit that you're a deed too. We're both deed, two deed orte. But then, yes, you know what it does? It does get you into your masculine energy.
It does.
Then you're like, oh, okay, we're struggling. Let me hold the fort down. Oh, you can't lift up the table? I got this.
Let me assemble this IKEA furniture. Screw in the light bulbs.
Yo! Oh my.
Mow the lawn. I don't know what else we do. I do everything.
No, listen, okay? You say your piece. Say your piece.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, ask.
How about let's clarify to everybody, what is feminine energy and masculine energy? What is this?
Okay, I think it's different for everyone.
Okay.
Right? This is my thought, and then you tell me yours. Okay.
Got it.
I think masculine energy is like the energy that you bring as a man. Like for me, masculine energy is like you're able to like protect the person that you're with and keep them safe. Okay. You're able to be a provider. Okay. And I think that's pretty much the main gist of it for me.
Yep.
Right? Protect, keep the person that you're with safe, and be a provider.
Yep.
That's like the main three things.
Yeah.
Right. This doesn't mean you have to be like loaded up the butt or whatever and you have to drive you have a private jet and drive a freaking Lamborghini. That's not what it means. It just means that you can provide an environment for your woman that will allow her to feel comfortable and safe with you and secure with you. That's what it is to me. You know what I mean? Somebody that can put you in your place. That too.
Sometimes we need that.
Sometimes you really need that. Especially the women that are like a little masculine. They really need that.
Or when we're crying over raccoons on the road, you need your man to come in and be like,
Yes, like
calm down.
yeah, or be like, okay,
Take a Tylenol and go now.
no idea what's going on with you, girl. Okay, that's how it is for me.
Or they'll be like, let me take you out.
yeah,
Take care of you. You're
Yeah.
not having a good day.
yeah. See that's exactly like guys that can, you know.
Part of masculine energy too, and there's a lot of controversy on this topic, but a lot of it also has to do with carrying traditional masculine roles,
Oh,
right?
yeah, that's
and
a
I
good one.
know that having gender roles in society is kind of a thing where we're trying to break away from it. I understand that too, but at some point we also need to recognize that these gender roles are here and are in place and have been for generations since the beginning of time, regardless of if you're human or animal. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you think in the animal kingdom there's no gender roles?
Absolutely,
There are gender roles.
There
Of
are.
course
There are.
There's only one king of the jungle.
Yeah, king of the jungle. Jungle.
Hakuna Matata. It's totally the different song. But anyways, so I think with masculine energy and feminine energy, a lot of it also has to do with being able to play into some of the gender roles that fall on your plate.
Yeah.
Because if a woman feels like she has to always participate in masculine roles, she's going to get frustrated.
Yeah,
Because she's also going to be expected to still play part in her feminine roles.
yeah,
How much can you do?
yeah.
And then if she's too overbearing or if she's trying too hard to be quote unquote the man in the relationship,
Yeah.
then that can be intimidating or
Yeah.
that can hurt a man's ego.
Yeah, I
And
feel
then
like
what?
he'll feel like emasculated.
Exactly.
But then let me ask you, what do you think is feminine energy?
I think feminine energy is like being there, being like a nurturer. That's a huge part of feminine energy. Taking care of people because that's how we are literally
do.
biologically created.
I think so too.
To be nurturers, okay? To be caring, to be giving. If you have kids, showing that motherly role, that's a lot. And here's the thing, let me clarify. Whether we agree or disagree is a different conversation. We are just out here explaining what masculine
Yeah.
and feminine energy is. What is
Yeah.
it to you? What's feminine energy to you?
I think feminine energy, like the nurturing thing, is like key.
Yeah.
It's like you're a nurturer. You're like, I don't know, like I hate to like bring like our culture into it, but it does, in my mind, it does seem more of like something where like a woman is more softer.
Right,
You know,
right,
like
right.
softer is in like the way that she loves, right?
Yep.
Like the way that she's like more like nurturing and like you know, raising the children and how you are. Like there's other words for it, but I can't put my finger on it. But you know what I'm saying,
Yep.
right? Like you're not like the dominant one. You're a little bit less.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that you're under the guy, but it just means that like your role is different.
Exactly.
And I think biologically there is a difference.
Yeah, yeah.
There is a difference. We are built different.
Yeah.
They can't have kids. You know what I mean? Like we can have kids. There's certain qualities in us that are brought out more because of who we are. And I think that naturally, like we want to be around someone that can take care of us and provide for us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know what else it is with these roles, masculine or this energy?
Yeah.
I would say it's like I might not, if I'm considered less than, right, and I'm not as dominant, it's only in certain aspects in our relationship. And I think that's where you need to clarify it, because I can be dominant in the kitchen.
Yes.
Dominant with kids and caretaking and birthing and all these other things that I am dominant at, which I know the other partner won't be able to.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You're not less of a human being.
Yeah.
You're not less of an individual. You're not contributing less to the home.
Absolutely.
Let's clarify. You are just dominant in other areas. But if you end up, or the man ends up being dominant in all aspects of the relationship, that's when it can get very problematic.
I think so too. Or if the man is like, okay, you know what? Like going back to this, like I'm going to take a back seat because you know what? I would rather she do everything and she's going to solve all the problems. So if I'm struggling, I don't need to go out and like make money or provide for my family. I know that she can do it. And I think that is where the role gets jumbled. And once the role gets jumbled, I feel like there's so much resentment, and that can cause like this major breakdown in relationship.
100%.
Because I feel like the resentment, it just builds up more and more and more. Like I would honestly say, like, okay, if you're with someone that cannot provide for you at all, and you're sitting there like, okay, well, I am going to do things for myself then.
Yeah.
Right. I'll figure it out on my own. And everything is I'll figure it out on my own. I'll figure it out on my own. Eventually you're like, if I'm figuring everything out on my own, what do I need you for?
Because there's no value in the relationship
That's the
anymore.
thing, right?
Because it's not a give and take anymore.
It's not a give and take. Yeah.
And this is where you're going to end up in problematic situations because you're not getting anything out of it.
Exactly.
You're going to start questioning, like, why am I even here when I can do all of this on my own?
Exactly.
Unless your partner decides like, hey, okay, look, if you're going to be the provider, okay, let me take care of everything else.
Yes. Yes.
And if he decides to take care of everything else that you used to do, and it's actually like a fair exchange, then I can say we can have a different conversation. But generally speaking, and a lot of people who messaged us said that that's not the case.
Exactly. But I also think it's because, look, nowadays it's not how it was back in the day where it was like the man went to work and the woman stayed home. It's not, it is like that for some people, but I think a lot of women are also in the workforce. They also have careers. They're very successful. I think it might intimidate certain guys, but I think ultimately, like, it's also done because there's been things that we've seen in our past where like women have stayed at home and they've been kind of trampled over.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you don't get an opinion. You don't get to speak up and talk about anything. It's like, you know how they say like women should be seen and not heard?
Yeah.
That type of thinking, right? And so to change that narrative and to take some of our own power back, like women are like, no, we have to keep ourselves safe and secure, because what happens sometimes is that especially if it's like a guy is making all the money, right? The woman is staying at home. That man can dangle that money on her head and be like, I am the provider. What do you do? What do you do that's important? You sit at home and you take care of the kids. I have heard this numerous times from people. And so that's why I feel like there is so much credit taken away from the woman's role as like a mother, as like a provider for the children and a caretaker of the home. And I think that because men do that power play of like, I bring the money, so I bring everything. That's why women are like, screw you. I'll bring my own money. Then at least we're on an even playing field, and you can't like pretend like you're one-upping me on or over something. Because the reality is, like, a man can take care of the kids, but there is a connection that the kids will have with the mother that a man is never going to have. It's just the way it is, because those kids came from us, like in our stomach. There's a connection there. It's just different.
But also, like, women will say, I'm gonna get a job so we're even playing field, but it's never even. Because we're still doing all the stuff at home.
Yeah.
And he's still just only going to be working. Thinking that that's enough.
Yeah.
That's an issue.
And I also think that, like, even if both people are working, let's say the woman is genuinely more successful than the guy, it's also sometimes extended family and other people that will still put the guy on a pedestal and will never give the woman the credit for her successes.
Because they'll see him as like the person that deserves it all because, he's so successful. It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
It doesn't, like, even if, okay, let's just say you have a job and you're doing really well and both of you are providing and bringing an income in the home.
Yeah.
Other people might look at it like, but now your wife is neglecting the home.
Yes. And that's exactly what they think.
Exactly. Your children are acting out. It's because you work.
Yeah.
And you put them in daycare. And now they're picking up behaviors from somewhere else.
100%.
And then what do you do?
Yeah, but you know what? At that point, it's just like, you have to decide. Either you can be in and this is not every relationship, because some people actually do offer their wives so much respect that they're like, no, like, she is like the queen of the house.
Right.
Okay. Like, I might do that, but I could never do what she does. That's different. We're talking about the ones that are like very egotistical, very like, I am the man of the house, I run everything, that type of thinking, where they will belittle a woman and make her feel like she is worthless. Even if she does end up taking her masculine energy and being in her masculine, even if she's doing that, she still will not get that credit for it.
That he would change after seeing his child.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a hard pill to swallow. But this is a two-way thing. Men and women. No one in this world changes unless they want to change.
Exactly.
Right?
Regardless of any situation that's thrown your way.
Yeah. And I think, like, you don't go into a relationship being like, this is my project. Like, as much as sometimes I'm like, tell me about yourself. How can we help you? Why do you think this way? Sometimes I'm like, I just want to understand you. But you know, like, if you see something and you're like, but they can change this later, you'll be careful, because that probably is not going to change later.
Kids make a lot of things much more difficult.
Yeah.
Bottom line, that's what it is. And if there are habits in your partner that you don't like, that you don't appreciate, a kid is not going to change that. It might make it worse.
I think it will.
And if you ever thought in the beginning that you wanted to leave, after having kids, you might not think about it anymore. Yeah. And now you're stuck.
Yeah.
And now you have to actually swallow this very difficult pill of, my partner is not going to change, even though we have kids in the mix. And now my kid is going to be in a home thinking that this behavior is okay. It's not okay.
Yeah, it's not okay. Whatever the behavior is, I feel like if it ever comes to that point where you're like, this is like a really big thing for you and it's like a struggle and you can't, like, this is like a do or die situation, I think, like, seek help. Seek help first and foremost. Like, go and get some help. That person obviously needs help with whatever the situation is. It could be like a small thing, could be a big thing, whatever it is. But I think exactly what she said, kids will make the problem worse. I don't think kids are a Band-Aid solution.
And I think the generation before us kept telling us it is.
Yeah, I
just
know.
have kids.
Yeah, or like, keep having more.
Yeah.
Keep having more.
Because they stayed and invested their entire life in their kids.
Yeah.
And they think that, you know, some of them did it and wow, kudos to them. I don't know how they did it, right? Yeah. But I think our generation and the generation after us can't do that. You can't invest everything in your kids and stay in a toxic relationship.
Okay, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, you know what they say about our gen, right? And the generation coming up, that we lack compromise and we don't have the strength to stay in relationships because we're very like, we don't try hard enough. Do you agree or disagree?
I'm a 50-50.
Oh, okay. Explain.
Because sometimes I do feel like we're so quick to run. Okay. Why can't we stay in compromise if it's not a dire situation? Okay. But I feel like because we were never equipped with skills to have open communication, to maybe have a bit of confrontation, to take in criticism.
True.
We tend to just think, no, I don't want to be in this relationship where we're fighting over things, and it could be a bit petty, and you feel like, I'm just gonna leave. There's so many options now.
Yeah, there are, but then
The world is literally your oyster now.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe not before, because when you found a spouse, you were like, okay, but where am I going to find another one?
Yeah.
And now it's like the whole world is yours. And you, once you open that door and you realize you have so many options, sometimes you're just like, well, whatever, I'll just leave. I'll find someone else. I'll find someone else who can do all of this. Okay. However, I will say, on the flip side of it, that's not always the case, because I feel like a lot of our gen will like fight and stay in relationships, one, out of fear and disappointing your parents, and two, we were never taught that it's okay to leave.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
You'll stay no matter what.
That's true too.
So I feel like you're caught in between. Some, like, it's 50-50. I feel like the younger generation has a lot more. They're very gutsy.
Yeah.
Part of it, I commend them. I'm not going to lie. And part of it, I'm just like, sometimes I catch myself judging them too. Like, what? What do you mean you left a relationship because he forgot to bring flowers on Valentine's Day? I don't remember last time that happened to me. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, or what do you mean you don't want to go and buy flowers? Why can't you bring flowers in the home one day? I catch myself doing it.
Fair.
Because I feel like maybe women of our generation are definitely caught in the middle.
I think I agree with you, but I also think that, something that our generation really lacks is communication.
Yeah.
And I think that we just never had proper like role models to help us and show us what good communication was.
Facts.
It was just like the woman should shut up, listen to whatever the guy said. Okay, if they're wrong. Okay, so what if he slapped you once? It's all good. No big deal. You know, things like that. Things like that where like...
And then they bring their own trauma into it.
They bring their own trauma into it. I think a lot of our generation also has a lot of like childhood trauma that we're going through. Not everyone, but a lot of people. And I think it's hard for us to break away from it because we haven't even healed ourselves. So then you're going into relationships with all this baggage.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of makes things worse. But I also think a lot of us were rushing into marriages and maybe doing it in a way where it was like marriage is like the epitome of success, which we've talked about numerous times. And I don't think that it gave us time to even figure ourselves out or help, like, or take the time out to like heal from things that had happened in the past so that we could show up in the best way possible in a relationship. So I think that is a big one. But I also think that we are also the generation that's still, I think, worried about upsetting our parents, worried about upsetting the people around us. And so, yes, I agree. Sometimes I think we stay because it's just easier. And it's also, like the way with the less bumps on the road.
Exactly.
There's like a phrase for that. Like, it's like, there's a phrase that I forget the phrase, but it's just the easier way in that sense. And for the people that stay, it's like, they would say it's not an easier road. And I understand, but I also think at times you really do have to, I think, figure out what you really want from your life. Like if you want to stay in a relationship that's not going to bring you happiness, that's your prerogative. But then I also think some people might have the courage to be like, no, you know what? I'm not going to do this and I need to kind of trek it on my own. It's really scary, but I'm going to go that way. So it's like
you also have to look at it this in this perspective. We never saw the generation before us like even hop from job to job. Everybody,
Facts.
Man, the generation before us and these baby boomers, they've been doing the same thing for 65 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody quits. Nobody moves forward. Very rarely do you see people like trying to climb up a ladder. They get comfortable and they stay. So if they're going to do that with something like their career, what makes you think they're going to leave a relationship?
Facts. That's so true. That's so
right.
True.
And I feel like even for me, if you think about it, a lot of people in our generation, like leaving is scary. But staying is also scary.
Yeah.
It's not easy. And being in a relationship and getting married, it's not easy. It's so much work. And nobody ever talks about how much work you have to put in to make a relationship work.
It's freaking hard. It's so hard.
How come nobody ever talked about it? In growing up, it was always seen as like, getting married is an easier path for you because you're considered an adult and you can make all these life decisions and you don't have to like be under your parents' roof and you get to like live this happy, lovey lifestyle with your partner. But that's not the reality of getting married.
But it just comes down to the whole thing, lack of communication.
Yeah.
Lack of communication, where like parents never told you. They would just be like, oh, you're gonna go there and be like a people pleaser just like we were. You know, like you're gonna go there, your mother-in-law's gonna tell you what to do and you're gonna listen to everything because that's what we did and that's the way it's supposed to go for the rest of time, you know? And like we were a different generation because like we did ask some questions where it was like, but why? Like this is not feeling right. Or like, I shouldn't be treated like that. Or even as children, like you might even have noticed like, hey, like why is this person yelling at this person and no one's saying anything? Or why did they do that? That was not okay. You know, being that type of, and then like the generation after us is like, why? Like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. And the generation after them is just going to be like, I don't care.
Yeah.
They're not even going to ask the why. They're going to be like, I don't even need to ask why because I probably knew the answer before you.
Yeah, because for us, it was like, well, I want to do this. But if you say no, I guess maybe I'll say, okay, maybe. And the generation after is like, I'm saying no. And the generation is like, I'm not even asking you.
Facts. And the generation after,
Like,
they'll be raising everyone. My biggest mistake, trying to fix him. Turns out I'm not IKEA.
Y'all, has anybody built IKEA furniture?
Allah.
Yo, I remember.
These what are the words? The Bjorn. I don't even know though. How are those Swedish words? The Bjorn table.
Oh my god.
Schmuck something.
Okay, the Alex drawers for all the girls in makeup. The Alex freaking drawers.
Oh god.
Okay, it's a cabinet of drawers, girl. It's a cabinet of drawers. Like you would think, thus part, huh? Girl, I sat there for a day. Okay, like it took me like 8 hours.
Yep.
Okay, I built that. I built a bookshelf, and then I was like, never again.
Never again.
Never again.
Why does it have like a screw and a little wooden piece?
Oh my
god. You know the doubles? Okay. And then you know what I always do with drawers? I always end up screwing it in the wrong way
too.
And then the little slidey thingies don't match. And then I gotta undo it and do it again.
You know, like the anger you feel when you're undoing shit and you're just like, I'm about to toss this shit out the window.
You want to know something, guys? I saw a meme where it was like, if you really want to test your relationship, build some IKEA
furniture together.
Build IKEA furniture together.
Guys, this is a real thing.
A true test.
Buy a drawer, okay? Buy a drawer thing, okay?
Dresser.
Buy a table. Buy a damn table. Just a side table. Build it together. Build it together. If you can't build it together, rethink the relationship. If the woman is building the table, you're in your masculine energy. If the man is building the table, you got it right, bro. We trust you. You're doing the right thing. If you guys are doing it together and fighting, I don't know.
Or if you're doing it together and laughing,
okay,
ding, ding,
it
ding,
works.
green
It
flag.
works. Yeah.
And then if you're
This
just gonna
is
order
the
some,
greatest method ever.
and if we're gonna order some Popeyes later, IKEA and Popeyes sponsor this episode.
Okay, so this is another one that a lot of people talked about where they said, not loving myself enough and making the other person my complete world. So that was one, not loving. And then there was another, not loving myself more. Then there was giving in every time, feeling like it's always my mistake. You know, like you're always like, basically the gist is you don't love yourself enough, so you seek the love outwards from other people and you want them to validate you,
right?
Because you have a hard time validating yourself.
You know, it's really hard to love yourself though.
Okay, let me ask you something. What is your definition of loving yourself?
When I can be content and happy by myself.
That's it.
That's what it is. When I can be home alone, sitting on the couch, absolutely happy and satisfied.
Yeah, but do you think that, see, this is, okay, so this is like the like, for me, yeah.
And you don't sit in regret.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. I think for me, it's like that you recognize that you are not a perfect person, that you have a lot of flaws, or however many, whatever, like, it could be like the worst thing about you that you're like, I could never share this with anybody, but you can still through that look at yourself and say, you know what? I might have that flaw, but I still love who I am because I know that this is a very human experience and I can still sit here and give myself grace and say, you know what? It's fine. And it's okay to be alone as well. Okay. Sometimes I think loving yourself comes from acknowledging that like you can be okay alone.
You also have to learn to count your blessings.
I think so too. To be grateful,
right? And to be like, you know, sometimes I feel like a big challenge that I have is like accepting my body. For example, let's use that as an example. I'm constantly like, oh, I need to watch what I eat. Oh, I'm okay today. Oh, I'm gonna binge today. It's like this constant cycle in my mind, and I can never fight it, no matter what. But there are moments when I'm just truly grateful and happy and satisfied with where I am, with who I am in that moment. And I think that's when you truly can love yourself. But it's not a daily thing, and it takes so much time to get there.
I think so too. But don't you feel like it's always going to be that way?
It is.
Because I think you could look at the most confident person in the entire world, and like I will guarantee that they have days where they doubt themselves
100%.
Or they don't feel confident. Like I don't think that there's people in the world that are like, oh my God, I love myself every single, like you can still love yourself every single day, but there's moments where you do feel a little bit like, oh, like I didn't like that this happened.
Yeah.
Or I don't like the way I said this, different approach next time. But ultimately it's like you accept that there's ebbs and flows in life and you accept that you're not a perfect person, but you can still look at yourself and be like, I may not be freaking perfect, but I'm gonna show up as myself and I love the person that I am.
Yeah.
But goddamn girl, we were never taught to love ourselves.
No, never.
It was like, love everyone around you, okay? And if they love you, then you're lovable. That's what it was. That's what it was.
You nailed it.
I know.
It was, and this is where the people pleasing comes out because you always seek other people's approval of you.
Yeah.
And
for
when
sure.
you get their approval, then you're like, oh, I'm doing something right.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Oh, I lost some weight. Somebody said something to me. Oh, I'm on the right path.
Right, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
But internally, you are not feeling that satisfaction of yourself.
Yeah.
You're just trying to seek it from others. And then you get in relationships. And then you're out there seeking that approval in your partner. You might not always get it. Hence all the messages that we got.
Yeah, but like think of it like this, Uruje. So now let's say that you're someone that has really low self-esteem and low confidence, okay? You go into a relationship, okay? And you're like, oh, you go on a couple of dates, you meet this guy, and this guy's boosting you. Okay. He's like, oh my God, you're so beautiful, you look hot, you're so successful, you're so intelligent. And now you're like, oh my God, this is my person. Like I've gone out on this many dates with him. We really vibe, we connect, whatever. The ring goes on, y'all are married. Okay. And now you have constantly sought out validation from this person because he fills your cup in that way. Okay.
Right.
Now the day comes where he says to you, honestly, like, you really need to change this about yourself because I don't like that. Ooh. But you've never heard this. Okay. And he's having a down day and he's said that to you. As a woman, you're going to hold on to that shit till the day you die.
You are.
Okay? You will. Because you're going to be like, hold on, this person that has always filled my cup, that I seek to fill my cup because I don't know how to love myself and he fills it for me. He's saying this about me, so it must be true.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting there like, oh my God, I am like this. I am like this. Like this goes on for the rest. I feel like I've gone through this in my life. So I can honestly say it's so hard to get out of that hamster wheel.
So I was going to ask you, do you ever get out of it?
Girl, I think if you put in a lot of work, yes, you can get out of it.
Good.
But girl, getting out of it. Because imagine having low self-esteem your whole entire life, okay? And then you feel like, oh, one person finally validates you, but their validation is like very critical at times as well. So you don't even know what to believe.
Yeah.
Do I believe you? Do I believe my parents? At some point you're like, who am I trusting?
Yeah.
Because can I trust myself? My whole life, people have told me I'm not good like this. I'm not good like that. Yeah. You haven't trusted yourself.
Exactly.
So I think if you put in the work and like you like, I feel like therapy is like big. Like for me, I feel like it's really helped me.
Right.
And I think it really helps boost your confidence. It does help you learn to love yourself. Sometimes even being alone helps you love yourself.
It does.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the movies by myself. It's not fun, but yeah, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
things like that. So I think like sometimes you have to learn to be confident. And I think the love comes with time where you can also look at the things that you've done in your life and you can say, wow, I actually did do that. And that is amazing.
Self-love also comes when you decide to put yourself first in a lot of things that you put in the back burner. For example, I wanted to apply for this job and I didn't because I didn't think I was good enough. And then what did you do? You decided to apply. Whether you hear back or not, it's a different story, but you decided to apply. That's a big step. Okay. That's you building that confidence in yourself that I'm just going to apply regardless. Right. I wanted to get into this program. I'm going to apply anyways.
Yeah.
I wanted to join the gym. I'm going to join the damn gym.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to go on this fitness journey. I'm going to do it. I want to buy some fitness program. I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy a new pair of sneakers. I'm going to do it. It starts with little things that you felt like you kept putting on the back burner, and ultimately you end up neglecting yourself because you're trying to please other people in your life.
Yeah.
When you slowly bring that back in your life, you'll realize you can fill your own cup
I think so too.
when you put yourself first.
Yeah.
But we were never taught to put
were
ourselves
never
first.
taught that. Self-love is saying no.
Yeah.
Self-love is saying no and knowing that no is a complete sentence. It's not, oh no, I feel so guilty because I said no because I think I hurt their feelings. Sorry, Uruje. I can't come out to see you today, but
How dare you?
But you know what? Hold on. I'm going to see if I can make it work for you. Okay.
I know.
Like my day is super busy, but like, I don't want to hurt your feelings. So like, I have to try to make it work for,
Yeah,
for
I
you.
know.
Even though my day must be going crazy. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Self-love is saying, you know what? I can't do that. Period. There's no, but this. No, I can't do it. I don't want to come out. I want to stay home. I want to have like a rot day on my sofa. That's what I want to do. You know what I mean?
Or it's one of those, like, you know, when you're on a fitness journey and then you know that there are a few friends that if you go out with, you can't be on that journey anymore because they're going to force you to eat.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
They're going to be like, no, we're ordering the nachos. Why do you always come out if you're not going to eat? You know when they make you feel bad?
Yeah.
I know there are friends like that. Okay? They're just like, and they don't respect the fact that you don't want to indulge in these things. You're really trying to
Yeah.
put yourself on the right health path. Okay? And then but you can't say no. You gotta learn to say no. No is a complete sentence.
No, it's a complete sentence.
You don't want to go out with them because ultimately you don't want to eat any of the stuff anymore.
Like sometimes with friends, it's like you can still sometimes find a way to say no.
yeah,
With family, with parents,
with your husband.
with your husband, with your in-laws. That's really hard.
That is so hard.
Like, okay, we're going to go on a family trip with the in-laws, but I don't want to go because you know what? I have this huge deadline for like an article that I'm writing or whatever it is. But if I don't go, then there's going to be questions. So I need to go. So I got to make it work for them. These things are so complex.
But then you go, you take your laptop. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to fill this out.
Yeah.
And what do you know what's going to happen when you take your laptop and you turn it on. This is why you didn't want to go in the first place. Because you're going to hear the tane. Vacation pe bhi har waqt kaam karti ho. Laptop क्यों लाई हो?
yeah.
इतनी जरूरत तो नहीं थी. तुम छुट्टियां ले लो. They don't understand.
But that's the thing, right? That and majority of us, myself included, you included too, okay? We would be like, oh yeah, you're right. You know, you do that.
You
because
do.
You're just like, this is just an easier way for me to just like assimilate to everybody. You know,
And
like
avoid the
I fit in.
confrontation.
I need to fit in so I don't have to deal with the confrontation. But like honestly speaking, I think with time you really have to put your needs first.
Babying your spouse, picking, ironing their clothes, cleaning up after them, giving them chores, but always end up completing their chores because they didn't do it.
Okay, so let me ask you
Yo,
something.
the silence was deadly, huh?
Let me ask you something. So you know when you get married, right?
Yeah.
Like there's certain things that you do out of love.
I know.
Okay, like for me, it would be like if I know that someone is not good at ironing their clothes, right? And I am good at it, I would do it out of love.
Yeah.
Because I want you to look good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I would never let you walk out of the house with a wrinkled shirt on because for me it's like, no, like when you're out there, like you're representing our family and I'm going to make sure that you look top notch. Some things you do out of love, but it's when people take advantage of the love.
That's the difference.
That is the difference.
That's the difference. Because I love a clean home and I am a serious neat freak. Okay. But it's never been taken advantage of in this house.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Because
exactly.
I'm not the only one who keeps the house clean.
Yeah.
Right? My husband keeps the house very clean. He's
Exactly.
very organized.
Yeah.
Had I felt like I was always Cinderella storying this and I was the one who was constantly cleaning on my hands and knees, okay? And I'm getting nothing in return. Nobody's picking up no mess. I'm constantly getting hit by my kids' toys all the time. Guys, I would feel so upset. Like, why am I mothering every single adult in this home?
Yeah. It's not even your job.
It's not my job.
It's not your job.
I don't want to marry a baby.
Yeah. But you know what happens? you start off with the pyar, okay? It's
That's
like,
right.
nahi, main pyar se ye baat kar-" And you know, sometimes people come to your house, okay? I don't know if this happened to you. I don't know if this happened to you. And then they'll be like, nahi, tumne kyun plate uthani hai? Aruj utha legi plate. You know how they do that? They'll do it on purpose.
I know,
They'll
I
be
know.
like, let me set your role real quick,
Or
okay?
they're like, Aruj, khana nahi lai abhi.
Yeah. Iski plate mein khana dalo. You know what I mean? You know how they do that stuff? And you're sitting there like,
oh, abhi khana thanda hai.
you're and they come in and they're like trying to like enhance your relationship because they think the way that you enhance a relationship is that the wife is constantly serving the husband. Okay. So they're doing this thing. And then like, you know, with time, like this person gets used to you like being that way. How do you fix that? What do you do?
You have to fix it when it's happening. You can't do it after the fact. So like if somebody's doing that after that person would leave, I'd probably look at my husband and be like, this is not going to be a daily thing.
But what if it's not that a guest comes and like aadat pad gayi hai?
I don't know, man. It's so hard to get rid of the aadat. You literally cannot teach a dog new tricks.
Is that what she said? Okay. Yeah. Can't teach them new tricks.
Listen, if you
Unless they want to learn.
But honestly, I think it really goes back to like how people are raised in their homes. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna put myself in the position of a man right now. Okay.
Yeah.
And if I'm the eldest of two brothers,
Yeah.
I have a younger brother. Okay. Or let's say it's the conglomerate brothers. Okay. I'm the eldest one right now. And let's say my mom like babied us as kids. We don't have any sisters.
Yeah.
Okay. So she always felt like she had to play her feminine role in the home. Okay. And I didn't even go from this to this. I didn't pick up a single plate. I didn't ever put anything in the sink. I never ran a dishwasher. I didn't even ever do my own laundry. Okay. You think that 28 years of that behavior and now I'm going to get married. What guarantee do you have that behavior is going to change?
That's what
You guys, this is the reality. And I'm saying the same for girls.
That's so
okay.
true.
I'm saying the same for girls because let's say you're role play right now. Okay?
Yeah.
You're an only child. So you're spoiled.
I am.
Right? You have no siblings, no brothers, no sisters,
Wow.
nothing. And you have very little cousins and they're younger than you. So you are the first of everybody in your family.
Yeah.
And let's say you didn't really learn how to like cook and clean. And now you're 27, you got married. Okay? After you move into your own home, how hard is it going to be for you to actually want to learn any of that?
No, it would be so hard. Unless there was like a real jazba in me to be like, I'm going to learn everything.
But let's say you tried. And even then you're like, this is not for me. I ain't about
This is
this
not
life.
for me. I don't know. I just feel like there's certain life skills.
And you have a career. You got a good career, girl. And you're like, well, I don't want to contribute to the home. I never had to in my entire life. And I've studied and I've got a great degree and now I got a great career. Now what?
I don't even know. Honestly, some women are like that where they're like, I'm just not a good cook and I just don't want to cook. So then at that point, you guys figure out how to like get those like meals.
I was going to say,
Get a meal plan.
halal meals.
Halal meal. There you go. Something like that. That's what you would be doing.
Yeah.
But I think if it was like, it's a situation like that, I think that there's certain life skills that everyone should know.
Factual.
Like, don't tell me you don't know how to boil anda.
I didn't. I didn't.
You do. I'm like,
I didn't. But I'm not gonna lie, you know, when I got married, I definitely
Stepped up.
I stepped up, but also when I was the sibling in my home that still did idhar udhar kaam. Like I didn't know how to cook.
Yeah.
But I still did a lot of the cleaning and stuff. So when
Yeah.
I got married, it wasn't like, it's obviously a new task because you don't realize how much you have to do.
Yeah.
Because when you're single living with your parents, you usually just do your own room and maybe the bathroom.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Now you got to do like the whole kitchen, the
Yeah,
other bathroom,
everything, the
spare
deep
room,
clean.
the deep clean, the
The
living
window
room,
sills.
oh my
The
god,
baseboards. Whoo.
Woo!
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So obviously that was the challenge, but
Yeah.
what I was familiar with like products to use.
Yeah.
Okay. Because guys, this is a big thing.
It's
Nobody
a
talks
serious
about.
thing.
What products do you use when you're cleaning? What do you know to buy?
Yeah.
When you first get married, are you out here still buying those 3-bag milk bags and a dozen unde for 2 people? You're probably not because you're gonna have
Yeah.
so much trash by the end
Yeah,
of the day.
exactly.
How do you take out your trash? Do you know the difference between organic garbage recycling? Because
Do you even know the days the trash is going out?
Nope.
Right?
No, I didn't know the difference between organics and garbage. I just threw everything in the garbage.
I used to do that as well, but then it was like,
Then I learned.
save the environment, save the world.
And then when we first got married, we moved into a condo where it
Yeah.
was just one chute.
Same.
So I just tossed everything.
Yeah.
And then slowly I realized, okay, there's a difference. There's a way to do certain things.
But at least you took the time to learn it.
You had to.
Some people are just like, I don't want to learn it. Like, I could say, like, I've seen this a lot with men because I feel like women in Desi households, they're kind of forced into like being that female homemaker. Okay. We're forced into it. Whether we want to or not, it's like, get in the kitchen. Okay.
Okay. You're going to get some beats.
But men, it's like it's very serve. Okay. Like you have a dawat. The men did not cook nothing. Okay. They didn't cook. चावल का दाना भी नहीं उन्होंने पकाया. Okay.
पता भी नहीं है कि पहले हम भिगोते हैं.
Okay.
भिगोते हैं चावल.
Okay. They didn't put a spoon on the table. Who comes to eat first? Who comes to eat first? Who comes to eat first?
Yo, there's this.
Why?
There's this. You know, I've been to a few homes where they've reversed it and women go.
Okay.
And I appreciate it so much.
Up. Okay.
Right. And I've heard a couple of uncles being like, listen, we need to let the women go because they're the ones who made the food. And the way I applaud y'all, these uncles,
these uncles are unking.
I look at them and I was like, my kids need to be around to watch this.
But I love that because I think even in my family, like now it's like, no, like the ladies first.
Right.
Y'all, the Titanic, it was ladies first.
Yeah.
Okay?
Women and children.
At the Dawat, the men are like, no, us first.
Like the guy in Titanic, the villain.
He's like, he's my child. She's the only one. I'm the only one in her life.
He stole the baby.
Boat, yo.
Not even his baby. And he wanted the diamond in his pocket.
The selfishness. I swear, major Jordan put that. Honestly, I cannot even deal. I can't deal. So it's like the men that are running up for those dawats that didn't cook nothing. Okay. Didn't cook nothing. Okay. That's not respect. I don't understand that. Like the women are slaving in the kitchen.
Facts, man.
I made 12 dishes. Okay. And then I'm washing dishes while y'all are eating. You know what I mean?
Also, I took the entire week to prep for this damn dawat.
Yo, the dawat prep, off topic, but the dawat like, girl, if I have a dawat at my house, the prep starts a week before.
2 weeks sometimes.
And the lists are listing.
Yo.
Like, it's like list after list after list. Okay?
I'm on flip price matching things. I'm circling all the things I need. I'm prepping the menu, making sure my bartan aren't.
And then you're doing the grocery, okay? And it's like, meat is from the butcher, this one, this specific one, okay? Then you got the grocery from this store, but then there's like a desi grocery because you got to go to the desi store for the desi grocery. Do you understand the time it takes to do these things? And I don't even get to taste my kana first.
The night before
Lord
you
have
prep,
mercy.
anything you can make the night before, you'll make.
Anything.
Like, if you need a dessert that needs to set overnight, do that the night before, okay?
Yes.
If you have any sort of like piyaz, tomato,
onions, garlic, tomato,
all the salad, cut it before. And then the next day, the way you're sweating.
Exhaust is on, hairnet is on your head, you're screaming at everybody like, clean this room! The cleaner didn't clean that. Like, oh my god, yo, it's chaotic.
God forbid the cleaner isn't available.
God forbid. Okay?
Because the amount of cleaning that you do for absolutely no reason. Nobody's going upstairs. Why
Nobody's
am I cleaning
looking
upstairs?
at my baseboards, but you better believe I'm taking a toothbrush. The grout in the tiles getting cleaned and shot. Ain't nobody showering in the shower, but the shower sparkles. Okay, it's the sparkle. Okay,
so my god, it's nuts. My like exhaust fan will turn off automatically after 4 hours.
Exhaust like that?
Yeah, the exhaust fan's like, "Mat mari hui hai, mujhe band kar do 1 minute."
Like I can't.
My patile are burning.
Right? You know you have like 3 pans on the stove, and you're like, Jana, Java, chicken salad. And then one has to burn. One has to burn. Has to mess everything up. The routine gets messed up. Oof. Then your child comes and they're like, Mom, kana. And you're like, you're eating hava today. Because honestly, I cannot feed you right now.
Eat the yogurt in the fridge. Yeah. I'm not giving you anything else.
You want chips for breakfast, lunch?
Let's go.
That's what's happening.
Let's
breakfast,
go.
lunch,
Eat
dinner,
cereal
chips.
out of the box. No bartan. No bartan is allowed.
Ding dong. A guest comes early.
Ding dong. The guests are here.
They come early, girl. And you still have the hairnet on your head. And you open the door and you're like,
Badi kharab halat hai.
Hello. And they're like, oh my God, you look like you've been ready for like the last like 3 hours. And you're like, I have been. This is so easy for me. I do this all the time.
Or the way you yell at your husband, like, open the door, gotta go. upstairs. Open the door. And you run upstairs. Stain in head and everything.
You're taking a quick shower.
Oh my God. You didn't iron your clothes. You're going to wear an old suit now because it's already pre-ironed and hanging.
Oh my
Chalo,
God.
मैं यही पहन लेती हूँ.
And then your husband at the end of the Dawat, they're like, you're like a demon before the Dawat. And then at the Dawat, you're like an angel. If only people saw how you were before the Dawat.
Be like, you're welcome. Did you like the food? Because I saw you licking those fingers.
Everything is forgiven because the food is top tier lit.
And
Okay?
the house is
Everything's
going to
forgiven.
be clean for the next week and we're eating leftovers. You're
And we're
welcome.
eating it's the leftovers, guys. The leftovers, the way the leftovers slap, even your mom doesn't slap like that. Just telling you. The leftovers be slapping, okay?
You're welcome. This is why I was a demon for a week.
Anyway, back to regular program.
Guys, this is jokes. Yo, are you even the kind of person where like if you get food cater, you still have to do 1-2 dishes on your own?
I have never catered food at my Dawat, even once.
I actually don't think I have either.
But
Now I'm thinking about it.
But if I did cater, it's just because where I live, there's not a lot of options.
Oh yeah, true.
But if I did cater, I would 100% make certain things on my own.
I'm that way too.
Like, because there's certain things that you're like, no freaking good place has this food. So this I'm gonna do. Like dessert, I would never cater.
Yeah.
Dessert, I would do it on my own.
Yeah.
I would never cater like salads and stuff because for me, it's like their salad is basic always.
Exactly.
Right. So I would probably make like a couple different salads and stuff.
Oh, the only times that I've like catered is like if we do like a halwa puri nashta.
Okay, that is
Slaps.
sweet.
Yeah, and I'm like,
because then you're gonna be standing in front making puris like because
it's
puri
not
are
even-
fresh to the table.
Yeah.
Puri is
It's not
always
even
fresh to the table. No, I couldn't do that.
But then I'd make like the aloo at home or something.
Yeah.
Right. And then
But sometimes you have to, right? Like if I was living in a place which had like a lot of really good restaurants,
Yeah.
I think I would definitely go that route.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
if you're having a big Dawat.
yeah,
Like,
or
you're gonna-
hakka food.
Yeah,
I
or like
love
you're
getting
gonna take
hakka
out your
food
big
catered.
patila that's like this big, and you're like
That you
mixing
can
your
cook
goat
yourself
curry. That you can cook yourself.
You're like, मैं इसके अंदर बैठ जाती हूँ क्योंकि मैं गई हूँ. Hey, ये नहीं होता मुझसे.
Oh my god.
Yo, actually though, how did our moms do it?
I don't know, man.
This is one thing I got to
They're
give
so
them
quick.
credit.
They're quick.
Like
quick.
the way my mom would put dishes out, it's literally magic. Chris
7 o'clock
Angel
was
that.
a-
Chris the Angel
Chris
that.
Angel that. It's 7 o'clock and everything is done at 5.
Yeah, it's
And like
crazy.
she's looking good.
And,
Okay,
like,
makeup
the
is
food
on.
so
The
good.
house is smelling so good. The Dawat smell. You know, every house has a
I
Dawat
love
smell.
the Dawat smell.
Dawat smell is a real thing.
It's a real
okay?
thing. It's delicious.
Best smell ever. That's
Oh my
nostalgia.
God. This is not like a relationship. Well, it is a relationship quote, but I saw this on TikTok and I had to read it because I thought it was hilarious. Remember, it takes 2 people to ruin a relationship. So blame him and his mother for raising him that way. You did nothing wrong, queen. I'm sorry. I had to bring it up because
Sometimes it'd be like that. Sometimes it'd be like that.
sometimes it really isn't you.
Sometimes it really is
It's him and his sister, him and his mom,
and his dad.
him and his dad, or
him and his brother.
Him
It
and
could
his-
be so many, but it could also be in reverse. It
Facts.
could be her and her mom.
yo.
It could
Can we
be.
talk about this for a second?
Yeah.
I have to say, I'm just gonna piggyback off of that because
Yeah.
I circled something that somebody said, telling everything to my mom about us, then regretting it because my mom's thoughts about my husband's can never change now.
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
But that's true.
It is true. Honestly, you need to, when you become an adult and when you are married or in a seriously committed relationship, you have to watch what you say and who you say it to.
Yeah.
Because let's go back to the example where you have no siblings. You're an only child.
Yeah.
Okay. And your best friend is your mom. If you don't realize and set boundaries with what you are going to tell your mom and you share everything with her.
Yeah.
Every itchy bitchy detail, okay? You're gonna regret it because your mom is experiencing empty nest syndrome. So she's sitting at home and all she's gonna do is stew in your marital relationship problems.
Yeah. And you'll get over it,
Yep.
but she won't.
She won't.
So I think like you have to be very careful with what you share with your parents.
And what if she's the kind of mom who's like, she can't tolerate if somebody treats you that way. But for you, it's really not that big of a deal. It was something little. Maybe it was your time of the month. You made a big deal out of something.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It's not a serious problem. Right? What do you do? How do you have this conversation with your mom?
I just think you have to be honest. And then if you did share something that happened that was a negative, then you have to come back and counter it with a positive or like explain. Because, you know, in the moment when you're upset, when you share something, you'll always say it making yourself look good, no matter what. Okay. But if you can be very honest and share from both perspectives, and she sees it a little bit more clearly. But this is the thing, okay? And it's so hard because a lot of our parents have always told us, don't trust anyone, okay? Don't trust your friends, don't trust this person, don't trust this family member. So you've grown up with this major lack of trust. So the only person you're trusting is your mom if you're an only child, okay? So you tell your mom, and now your mom has developed this like idea about this person, and she's like, hey, right? Or like, she is like that, right? Now to take that out of her mind is not something you can physically do. She has to do it on her own. But you confided in her because you felt like you needed to talk to somebody about it. I would say find somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And even then, be very careful with what you say and who you say it to. Guys, don't be out here airing your dirty laundry to everyone. You will know in your heart of hearts who you can actually trust. And you will know who you have to keep at an arm's length with your stories of your personal life.
But you know, sometimes it's very difficult because sometimes you feel like you have a true friend, okay?
Right.
And you've confided in them and you realize later that maybe they weren't trustworthy. These are also learning experiences.
They are. And
right?
that's, honestly, that's life.
And that's life, yeah.
Unfortunately.
I would say that like, and it's hard too because imagine you're going through a really hard time in your life with your husband. He's really messed up. Okay. He said something to you that was so mean. It made you cry and you're having like a really off night. And then that's the same night you're supposed to go out with your friends. So you're like, oh, if I go out with my friends, like I'm going to feel good. You know what I mean? So you go out with your friends. Okay. And you're like, I'm not going to bring this up, but they say something not related and it just triggers your emotion and you get sad in front of them. And now your friends are like, oh my God, Aruj, what's wrong? Like, tell us. You're in this like vulnerable state. So you're like, I'm just going to tell them because they're my friends.
Yeah.
Okay. So you tell them. You can't even like beat yourself up over it because that is such a human experience.
Yeah.
But it's so hard because sometimes you need people to share things with.
Yep.
So there's so many facets to it because you're like, I need to find good friends that I can trust that won't judge me, which is hard because everyone in some way is going to judge you in some way. Okay. How do you navigate that? Do you not have any friends? What do you do?
I know. What do you do? It's the truth. Because just like in this scenario, like we talked about how if you share something with your parent and then they hold that judgment of your partner, you know, your friends can do the same thing.
Yeah.
Let's say you were in a vulnerable state and you shared something to your friends about your spouse. Sometimes that'll taint the image of your spouse to your friends.
Yes,
too,
exactly.
right? And now you're like, what if here and there, they're just always going to throw that back in your face? Like, let's say it's been weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
That situation has passed. You and your husband made up. It's all good. And then you go out again. And then your friend throws it back in your face again.
Or like they ask you constantly. So like, hey, what happened with that?
Yeah.
And sometimes like they ask you once, it's okay. But like, what if they're like, oh my God, in front of a friend that didn't know? They're like, oh my God, remember when he did that? Randomly bring that up. Cut that friend out.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like, and you're just like, God, why do you keep bringing it up when I already told you the problem's been resolved?
Yeah.
Right? It could also go the other way around when if you share something intimate about your friends to your spouse, and now your spouse is like, I don't want you going out with these girls anymore.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Because that also happens too. And then you're like, I'm in a relationship now where, or even if you share something about, let's say, your siblings to your spouse, right? Or your parents.
People said that.
Yeah. Like if you overshare in terms of like your parents or your siblings and you're sharing it with your spouse, but your spouse is the kind of person who manipulates that information and all of a sudden is like, well, you're not allowed to see your family anymore because they're like
but
this.
Don't you feel like in that moment that spouse is such an unsafe spouse? Because I think
but what do you do? This is your spouse now. And they've said, I don't want you going out with your siblings because of what you told me a few weeks ago of what happened. This is not the kind of people I want to see you hanging out with.
I would reevaluate everything.
I know.
As hard as it is, because then you're like, wait, so that means I'm cutting out my siblings for the rest of my life. You can't boggle but now. Honestly, like reality, think of the reality of it.
Yeah.
It's kind of stupid. But imagine they actually were horrible people.
Yeah.
Imagine your family was toxic and then he's like, I'm protecting you.
Yeah.
Then in that sense, see, for me, it's like your spouse should be a very safe space for you.
Right.
Where like you tell them something and their main goal is like, how do I protect my wife and like support her? That's, I think, the thing for me. If he's making you feel the opposite, then get some help.
Yeah, or
Seriously.
honestly, it is really hard though, because when you are in relationships, it's so hard because you can be manipulated in a relationship to think that he's correct. And so you cut ties.
Yes.
Right? And then all of a sudden you're experiencing social isolation because you are not allowed to go out to see your parents anymore. You're not allowed to hang out with your siblings. You can't see your nieces and nephews anymore. You don't have any friends. And that's why your attachment is to this one person and one person only. How do you let go of that?
Yeah.
It's a tough situation.
That is a very tough situation. I don't even know what you would do. I think it would just take time for you to hopefully open your eyes and see. Because, there's going to be things that are not great about your family.
Right.
Okay. They probably did things that you were like, I didn't like that they did that. I remember when they said this to me and it really sucked. Okay. It really messed up everything. I'm dealing with all this childhood trauma. It really affected me. So you confide in your spouse. And now your spouse is like, you need to stop seeing them. You can't be around them because look what it does to your mental health or whatever it is. Okay. But then at some point, like, you also have to see that like maybe they might have done certain things, but they are not like that now. Like now they are different. Let's just say that they are different now and they are like supportive of you and they want to spend time with you. I think you have to just see it for what it is, right? Like, do you want them in your life? Forget what he says. It's your family. Do you want them in your life? Do you want to have a relationship with your nieces or nephews? Is that something you want? If you don't want that, that's different.
Yeah.
But if you do want that, then his opinion should not be impacting you to the point where you're cutting off your family if they are good. If they're genuinely like horrible people, both are different stories.
Yeah, I know.
Both are, I like about that, but I think I don't. And it all ties into like the self-love because then it's like, why do you have so much faith in exactly what your spouse is saying and not in your own thoughts? That's, I think, what it goes into, where it's like, you don't even have enough faith in yourself to be like, I can make a good decision for myself.
And I think the greatest lesson in relationships is knowing that you have the autonomy to make decisions for yourself and having a partner who allows you to do that.
Yeah.
If I choose to cut ties with my friends, that's my decision, not yours, right? If I choose to, let's say my family is a bit toxic, but I still choose to see them, maybe within boundaries, like not every week, but once a month or whatever. Again, my decision.
Yeah.
You need to learn to see that and seek that in a partner is what I would say.
I think that's such an important point to close off on because that is really important. Like, you should be able to have autonomy in your relationship to make decisions for yourself. You didn't get married so that person can dictate every single thing for you. Sorry, it's too late. You need to put the kids to sleep and I'm not letting you leave the house. Or like, sorry, you want to go out with your friends? Sorry, you can't do that tonight. Or, you know what? Sorry, I'm not going to let you wear this. Like, these are things that as a woman or even a man, like, everyone has their own autonomy to do how they please. And that person should be there to support your decisions and so that you guys can be a unit together. It shouldn't be that like, you have to listen to every single person that you have to listen to what they say because they are acting like a fill-in mother or father for you. Like, you're a grown-ass adult. Okay.
And on that note.
Got so serious there.
We did. We went from this laugh attack with Dawats to like a really serious, like, have autonomy, be a human being.
Is emotional roller coaster.
Welcome to OP Mom Podcast.
Okay, guys. So if you haven't already, make sure you guys like, subscribe, give us the 5-star, follow us everywhere. Tell your friends, tell your cousins, tell your kids, tell your wives, tell your husbands to follow us. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, Mom.